right behind me is the Earl Dairy Road. People used that maybe 200 or 300 years ago from Dungannon and making their way to Derry. There would have been a wee gap down here below us called Barnes Gap, and it was known as the Robbers' Lane. Highwaymen would have waited in the evenings and ambushed people that are coming from Derry City or going to it. Many's a rally man come round this corner and nearly bit the dust. But Roger Clark and Roddy Llewellyn was two famous crashes here. And also up just over the hill, about maybe 6 miles from here, Rosemary Smith crashed into what they call a Pothole up here. That's a muddenstead. And 9 or 10 farmers come out with their tractors at night and pulled her out of the mudden, and away she went, and she was driving a Hillman up. So there's a pothole here, I think, has been missed. That pothole's here, I think, about 3 or 4 years, and they come out and they paint it nearly every year. Which reminds me of a story of a man in Glenelly who wanted to go into farm diversification. So Willie John, he thought, well, you know, I'm going to go into Sperrin House up in Omagh and ask them for a farm, and I'm going to apply for the new diversification scheme. So what he had to do was, he bought himself a wee digger, and he sat along the road and he started digging out potholes. And the ministry man asked him, why are you digging out these potholes, Willie John? Well, he says, I'll tell you why. Sure, the council would need a few potholes. Sure, they're looking for potholes every year. I can sell them, I can make plenty of money. I can sell big holes or wee holes. I can sell economy holes. When he says that to me that sounds stupid. No, it's not stupid, he says. Sure, your wife might want a hole, he says, to put a flower pot in the garden, or maybe plant a nice tree. Or sure, a lot of farmers wants to drive a lot of posts when they're fencing on the farm, and I can sell them the holes without them struggling all the time to make holes. So one day, Willie John was digging, had all these holes, and he was waiting on the customers to come along. And then Paddy Murphy come along with his pickup. Well, Willie John, he says, what are you at today? He says, sure, I'm digging holes. I've got a new enterprise, and the Department of Agriculture's paying me a big grant. Oh, God, that's great. He says, how much is the holes? Well, he says, there's a big one there. Now, that's a dear one. Now, I wouldn't sell you that if you mightn't need it, but there's a couple of small ones up here. He says, the DOE actually took a few of them this morning, he says, for the road down here to the barn. God, he says, I might buy that big one off you. Would you do a deal? I would, surely. And I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give it to you for a £5. And sure, what do you want it for anyway? He says, I want it, he says, for putting a manhole. The young boy's building a house behind our house, and he wants a manhole. Well, God, he says, see, whenever you split it up, you can split it up into 2 or 3, and you can use the rest of it for other things around the house. So they made the deal. What did they do then? He says, how are we going to get this hole home? Well, he says, I'll tell you what, Willie John, we'll roll her up on the back of the pickup. So the few boys rolled the hole up on the back of your man's pickup, and they went away. And about 5 minutes after, then your man come round the corner walking, and your man knew you must have crashed or something. He says, what happened? Oh, he says, I was going up that big steep hill, he says, do you know what happened? The hole fell off. It did not. What happened then? Oh, he says, I backed the pickup onto it. And that's my whole story.